guys, I want to talk to you about how to get unstuck when you're writing code. You can be writing a program and think you've got an algorithm that works perfectly fine and it's just not working. And you can spend a long time looking at code that you think should be working the way you want and it's not. Either it's giving you answers that don't make sense, or it's hanging up somewhere, or it's crashing somewhere and you just can't figure it out. Just staring at code is not always a great solution, because the more you stare at it, the more you are convinced that what you did is right and you can't find the mistake. So there's a method that a lot of computer science instructors recommend and have been recommending for a long time, and it's called rubber duck programming. And the idea is you can find the mistake in your code a lot better if you explain it to someone. And not everybody wants to hear you explain computer code to them in excruciating detail. So the idea is you get yourself a stand-in, something or someone to explain the code in. And one of the suggestions is a rubber duck. So the idea is you put the rubber duck on your desk, you put the rubber duck next to you, and you explain all of your code one line at a time to the rubber duck, as if you were explaining it to a person. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a person who's willing to listen to you explain stuff, that's great. If you don't like a rubber duck, you can use whatever you want. I've got Space Monkey here. I can explain my code to Space Monkey and really go through it line by line, explain what every variable is, what it does, what every line of code does, why that line of code exists. And the idea is, if there's a mistake, if there's an error, if there's a confusion, you can better pinpoint that confusion or that mistake by explaining it to someone else. And so I don't need this technique because I just talk out loud to myself all the time, but it's actually a recommended technique for getting over that stuck feeling. Just to go through your code and really put into words out loud what it is doing. And sometimes you can find a really simple mistake that way. So if you've got a favorite little toy, a favorite stuffed animal, you can use that. Or if you don't, you can come to my office, which is room 123, and you can come to my window, and I have a collection of rubber ducks for you. Anybody who wants a rubber duck can grab a rubber duck and take it and use it for your rubber duck programming. And one thing that I might do this semester is actually ask you to record one of your rubber duck programming sessions, to write some code and then to explain it with your camera on to your rubber duck or whatever stand-in you are using, so that I can hear you and see you work through your understanding of the code and really show that you understand what every line does and why it's in there. So that's the commercial for the rubber duck programming technique.